Hi everybody, this is the sad story of a beautiful guitar. This guitar right here. I decided to make a video on this one because I've used the picture of this guitar a couple of times for your like what you call them, your little snapshot that you have, like your thumbnail. That's what you call it. Your thumbnail pictures for the video when you post it up there. And this it's a beautiful guitar and it grabs people's attention. But the guitar's got a sad story. This instrument is a custom instrument made by a guy. The manufacturer's name was Bruce Way Art, and he sold guitars on eBay, and they're always beautiful guitars. And I've always been a sucker for guitars with lots of candy, as far as like inlay and stuff in them. And this one is just like gobsmacked with just inlay all over it. I'll show it to you the in detail in just a minute. But this one, it appeared on eBay, and I just happened to see it. This was about, gosh, how many years ago? It's probably about 13 to 15 years ago. I forget the exact year I bought this one. And put in a bid on it, and I got this guitar, and it was only about $350. It was, and that's and then plus some shipping and stuff to come from China or Vietnam. It came from Vietnam. And I guess what the story is behind these is that this guy is part of like a school. It's like where students build guitars or something, and maybe he's a teacher at the school, or maybe this was a student-built guitar. And they teach them all to do the craft of inlay and carving tops and all these kind of things. And this is one of those instruments that came from there. So it was probably built by a student, I'm supposing. But that's why it's so fancy, and it was maybe somebody's like final exam piece or something. It's a sad story because the instrument's not playable anymore. I moved to Oklahoma here about 10 years ago, and the top on this collapsed. This is an arched top, and the top now, it arches the other way. It has almost collapsed. It's still structurally intact. It hasn't cracked or broken in, but the wood on the thing, just under the pressure of 12 strings, went down like this underneath the bridge. So it's not a playable guitar anymore. If I get up here trying to play, you hear it frets out. The bridge is up as high as it can go, and I've actually added a different saddle. I built a higher one to try to give me a little more room, and it really doesn't do the trick. This instrument, let's tell you about it first. It's a spruce top, solid spruce top. The bridge and the fingerboard on them are ebony. The neck is probably mahogany from the looks of it, and then the back and sides are like koa. So it's a beautiful, beautiful instrument. It has like an ebony overlay over the headstock, and then all this abalone inlaid in. This is all hand done stuff. This is not decals. This is actual abalone, all hand cut. It's beautiful. And then it has sort of the pearloid or pearl inlays that are in the neck. They're really pretty as well. And down here on the little cap over the tailpiece, there is abalone, like a highlight inlaid all around. And there's some pieces of that missing where this thing took a fall one time and some pieces came out. And I just did not have the skill to put them back in. So it's had an unfortunate, rough life. Now, the real story of this thing is on the back side. This thing is stunning. It has the different striped bands of wood on here, and then has this abalone that's all around here, all three-dimensional around this. It's just an amazing thing. I'll kind of turn this and get some of the reflection off of it so you can see it. But it is really an amazing piece of work. It's a piece of art. And when it was a regular 12-string, this thing had a sound like no other guitar you ever heard. Thunderous bass that would just rattle your chest. And the trebles on it were a little funky. They didn't have the sustain and stuff because, like an archtop guitar, think of archtop guitars were designed for use in jazz and big jazz orchestras, where you're kind of chunking along chords, 4 chords to the bar, mainly as a rhythm instrument. The guitar is kind of used as a tuned drum in those old swing bands, and that's what archtops were designed to give you, that kind of a sound. So the treble end of the thing is not full and sweet like you'd get on a flat top guitar, It's more just the decay is very short on it. So this thing sounded amazing as a slide guitar. In open tunings, it just roared, and it had a real amazing sound. But it was a different sound. It wasn't a sound you could use for every song. There is on the channel. There's a video here, which is just it's actually audio, but with like a video background. But of me playing this song live at a festival, and this was as this thing was kind of getting towards the end of its days there, and I was playing it just with a microphone, no pickup or anything. There's no pickup in it, and it was an outdoor festival, and the sound wasn't very good. So, but that's the only recording I've got of me with this guitar. I have used it on a couple things as background tracks. What I did with it is, since it doesn't hold up to regular tuning anymore, I tuned it with Nashville tuning, but it's a 12-string, so I did it as double Nashville tuning. I got that idea after I have a 12-string banjo, and I did double Nashville tuning on that, and I was like, oh, that was amazing. That sounds really amazing on that instrument. I've tried on this one just because I figured the string tension would work pretty good, and it's okay, but again, like the neck on this thing and the bridge is collapsed on it, but it does... sounds kind of medieval. So I've used it for some backing tracks, just for some songs, just, mixed real low in the mix, and it does do some pretty interesting things. But it's a sad, sad story. It was a beautiful instrument that's not playable anymore. Oh, I got to show you one other thing. If you can see this close too, there's inlay around the body, but in addition to the inlay, there's this stuff, this celluloid stuff. They used to call it mother of toilet seat, like they used to have it on some of these old Tysco guitars. This thing has just got so much inlay, it's to the point of being gaudy. It's like offensive, but I loved it. It was an amazing thing. It was like just so over the top, and it was, people would see it just go, wow. But unfortunately, it's a dead guitar. Don't have the heart to lay it to rest. It's mostly a wall hanger, and it just stays up around. And I like using it for the thumbnails for the videos because it definitely gets attention. But unfortunately, it's not a viable instrument anymore. But I'm still attached to it. I haven't got rid of it. It'll be around. It'll get passed down to my children and grandchildren someday. It'll be hanging on their wall, and nobody will be able to play it either. I did take it to a luthier to see if there's some way they could remove the back and maybe put a post in or something, like you have like a bridge post like in a cello or something. And really, it's not salvageable, and not for what the guitar cost to begin with. This thing, I got it just buying it directly from this student builder. So it wasn't a very expensive instrument, but with the materials that were in it, if it retailed, it'd probably retail up around $800-900. But if I paid $800 or $900 for it and that did this, I'd be really even more heartsick. But it's an interesting piece, and it'll stay in my collection until I'm dead and gone. So thanks for watching the channel. I figured I'd tell you this little sad story. Somebody sent me a message, comment on the videos asking about the guitar, because I had it as the thumbnail, and then I had a flat top for the actual content in the video. And so somebody asked about it. I figured, well, let me just tell the story about it. So thanks for watching the channel. Hope you have a good Memorial Day tomorrow, and like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy the content here. Help the channel grow. I appreciate y'all and wish you a happy holiday, and we'll catch you next time. Bye.